Welcome back to Gibbo MMA, and we are reviewing UFC Shanghai. I am recording this not in my usual place. I am at my brother's, and the fights were on a Saturday night here. It's now Sunday afternoon now, but yeah, so I had to watch the fights on my phone while I was out. Still kind of bit dusty from the night before, but I was able to watch the fights I wanted to, have gone back and watched them again. And yeah, it looked like it wasn't too much of a barn burner of an event. It looked a little bit underwhelming. It looked like we didn't miss out on too much. There were some great finishes on the card, but as far as the whole card and atmosphere, it didn't look as exciting as we thought it would be. But we're doing the tough carry here. Got to be consistent and put out the video. Um, so let's just get straight into it. I want to start with the Charles Johnson. Just getting distracted here. Charles Johnson with versus Lonier Kavanagh. I want to start with that fight because I was really looking forward to it. And Charles Johnson gets that round 2 knockout. Johnson does it again. He's back in the win column, but he proves everyone wrong again. He proves the odd makers wrong. He's a big FU to the UFC for giving him these tough matches with the up-and-comers. And he should be definitely getting a top 10 ranked guy next. But this fight was really great. Like coming into this, my questions were, is this too big of a step up for Kavanagh? And in the first round, I didn't think so. He was moving really well. Being the shorter guy, he found his distance and was landing clean shots on Charles. But as we know, but I still think it's very underrated. Charles's fight IQ and his cardio is heavily underrated. And he just keeps that pressure on you. And he doesn't get through it. Like, it was a pretty even sort of first round, but definitely leaned towards Kavanagh. Got the first round, just the speed difference. And he found his range really quickly, being a shorter guy, and had a lot of success. He landed a great hook, left hook onto Charles's eye, and that bothered him a bit. Because yeah, Charles does get stunned a little bit in the first round of his fights. He does cop some damage, but what he's really good at is shaking it off and still pressing forward. And then yeah, like Kavanagh looked really great out there, explosive, and he's still only young, lot to learn. Still was performing well, but yeah, like, was it too big of a step up? I think it was the right step up, just didn't go his way and got to really find out maybe some gaps in his game. So even though I believe that's his first loss now in his pro career, yeah, moves to 9-1. I think there's going to be a lot of lessons learned, and he can, because Charles has beaten a lot of great guys, like Joshua Van, who he knocked out, is now fighting for a title. So it was a pretty decent step up, but he didn't look out of place in there. Obviously, until he got caught, but I think he'll be able to make those adjustments because we head into round 2, and Charles, and I was hoping for this with his, just to mix it up a bit. Don't make this a striking fight with Kavanagh because that's what he wants. Mix in the grappling, get more opportunities. Tire him out a bit more with the squeeze because Charles shoots in for a takedown. Kavanagh defends it well. What I thought was really great was the way he pulled guillotine from it. He did it off to his side, so he didn't give up his position too much, because a lot of people just go full back into mount, and as the old saying, position over submission, especially as you know my thoughts around guillotines, don't be doing it in round 2 onwards. But he did that a couple of times, but he's real smart with it. So he would pull the gilly, but sort of in a guard, but he was really off to the side, and from there he was able to escape around to the back. So I really saw that and noticed that and thought, not many other people are doing that if they're getting taken down, because naturally people go for that gilly, but they're just going straight backwards. Kavanagh was able to kind of do it to the side, you know, giving that submission threat, but he's not necessarily all in on it. And then from there, he's able to scoot to the side, and he got Charles's back twice doing that. So that was really impressive to see from Kavanagh, and not many people do that in the UFC. But with that, in the round two, they got into a lot of clinch and grappling exchanges on the fence. And Kavanagh ended up doing some explosive takedowns, lifting up Charles, but Charles instantly getting back up to his feet. And I think that just really wore on Lanier Kavanagh. And as you could see, he wasn't bouncing around as much. He wasn't moving as much. He was just standing right in front of Charles. You could just see the cardio, because Charles's cardio is great. Kavanagh being more explosive, I guess that short twitch fiber muscle output does gash you a bit, and that's why he got caught. And Charles Johnson's a big guy for this weight class. He's really long. I'll just get up his dimensions for Charles. He's where is he? Yeah, he's 5'9", whereas Kavanagh is 5'6", and his reach is 70 inches. And just comparing that to Kavanagh's reach. But yeah, he's 5'9" in the flyweight division, so he's one of the tallest flyweights. So he had a 3-inch reach advantage over Kavanagh, who has 67, Charles 70. And by doing those grappling exchanges, Charles Johnson was able to connect on the exit. And Kavanagh, being a bit tired as he was, and it was at the end of the second round, just pulled out of that exchange, hands down by his side, straight up and down by his side, like in attention. And then Charles Johnson just overhand swung that right arm, and he's very long, and it just flush connected, dropped Kavanagh straight to the ground. Few follow-up shots, and the ref had to step in. So again, Charles Johnson wins as the underdog. He was paying almost 3-1 odds again. Saying in the previews, made people, myself, a lot of money, and he just proves people wrong again. So he better be getting a top 10, because he was ranked 15 at this point, fighting an unranked fighter, and he's been fighting them real tough guys. I think it's just because of his age, really, but he's got great fight IQ, great volume, great cardio, great takedown defense, even though he did get down straight back up. So he never spent time controlled on his back. And yeah, like Kavanagh, he's only 26, 9-1 now. I think he'll just go back to fighting unranked guys, but there's still huge potential. I wouldn't be too down and out. Obviously, it sucks to go out in that fashion, but I'm excited to see his next fight. A lot of things to learn from, and he's in good hands. He's in great hands, and he's gone up against one of the most underrated tough guys. Like Charles Johnson should be a top 8, top 7 fighter, but he's just been given these unfavorable matchups, and he got unlucky with his last loss to Temerov, where it was just a shitty decision, bit of a not much doing in the fight. So for him to come out and get this win, he also gets a 50K bonus. So hats off to Charles. And yeah, so that was on the prelim, that bout. So now skip to the main event. Johnny Walker back in the win column, gets the upset win over Mingyang Zhang in his home country. And Johnny Walker came flying out, did a Hamza, fucking went straight for the takedown, and put Zhang on the back foot. But in this fight, Johnny Walker was really more defensively minded. Even though he got into the exchanges, he wasn't doing anything too crazy. So, and that's why he didn't get knocked out. Zhang, like he has been finished in his career. He was looking great in there, and in the first round he won. And there was a bit of grappling in the first round, and then the second round Bit of the same on the stand-up, just firing away at each other, nothing really landing. But the calf kick from Johnny Walker just thudded into Zhang, bang, thudded him. His body expression, you could see he was hurt, and bang, he did it back-to-back calf kicks on Zhang, and he just collapsed. He dropped to the ground, and he ended up following up with a third calf kick, Johnny Walker did. And then from there, Johnny Walker just emptied the gas tank. I was like, if he doesn't knock him out here, he could be in trouble because he was emptying the gas tank. I thought he got a few illegal strikes, but watching it, I think he did come down sort of on the back of the ears sort of section. So I think it was okay. Um, but yeah, he gets his worm celebration back in the win column because he was coming off two losses, bad losses. So to go into enemy territory and get the win again, he had a puncher's chance. He was the underdog. The matchup was favored for Zhang, but he had a puncher's chance, especially in the bigger weight divisions. It only takes one, but it came from the thudding calf kick, which is really interesting. No one had that on their bingo card, but yeah, don't really need to spend too much more time on that. And we move on to the co-main. Aljamain Sterling gets a dominant 50-45 unanimous decision win over Brian Ortega. And I got to say, it was pretty an underwhelming, not very entertaining fight. I had Aljo winning this, and I thought they would have spent more time on the ground. It wasn't until the fifth round we got to see some ground game from both guys, which was more dominant from Aljo. And the fight was really just Aljo sticking and moving the whole fight, just sticking and moving, sticking and moving. And yeah, he gets the win, beats a top six guy in Brian Ortega, does the smart thing, gets on the mic saying, I got the most title defenses in bantamweight history, most tied for most wins or something in bantamweight history, and he calls out Volk. He wants that title shot with Volk, and very smart. Like, he's a bantamweight champ, moving up to featherweight. He's paid his dues. He's got that win against the guy who's fought for the title twice in Brian Ortega, dominates him 50-45, but it wasn't necessarily like he won every round, but it wasn't like a super dominant. He was just not edging out rounds, but just for the judges, it's like, okay, yeah, Aljo won that. But yeah, it wasn't a very low damage fight. Towards the end, there were some good shots from Aljo when he was in Ortega's guard, but yeah, I was pretty keen to see these two guys go at it on the ground and see where their skill set is there and go against each other. But it was very much a stand-up fight, and Ortega just too slow. I thought he would have the stand-up advantage, but Aljo played it well and yeah, gets the win. Yeah, what do you think about those fights so far? And what did you think about the card overall? Let me know, leave a comment. But I don't think we'll be talking about this event in the future. We got it done with. So yeah, we move on to the heavyweights. Sergey Pavlovich back in the win column. Gets a unanimous decision win over Waldo Cortez Acosta. Yeah, heavyweights are becoming pretty frustrating to watch because if you can't really blink or look away because it only takes one shot. But then what we saw was just two big guys just dancing around, trying to land, but also very hesitant. And I don't know, Sergey Pavlovich still looks pretty gun shy from that Aspinall and the Volkov fight. Like, he in the first round, he had WCA backed up against the cage and didn't let it go at all. He just seems to be still down on confidence. So I hope this boosts his confidence to trust his hands, because I felt like he could have knocked out WCA in that first round. He had him pressed against the cage and just waited. And like, he gets the win, well done. But yeah, very, again, underwhelming, not disappointing, but underwhelming fight for the fans. They're both trying, but yeah, just a lot of circling around WCA on the back foot. Low volume, low damage fight again. But yeah, unanimous decision win. A lot of heavyweight fights are really becoming these 3 round sparring matches, just heavy sparring, really. They're not coming out there trying to take each other's heads off. Because I think Sergey, before that Aspinall fight, would have finished WCA in the first round. And seems still a bit gun shy. So I'm hoping in his next fight, he comes out and when he's pressuring people against the cage, really trusts his 1-2 combination and exiting off to the side because he can be finishing these guys easy. Yeah, then as we go down the card, like there wasn't too other crazy fights. On the prelims, we had some good finishes. But we did get a interesting result between Naraji, can't pronounce it, versus Kefier Crosby. Naraji does the brutal illegal knee on Crosby, almost like cracks his cheek open. Crosby, you know, he should have taken the disqualification win. There's about 2.5 minutes left in the round. The doctor came in. He's bleeding everywhere. Mark Goddard takes 2 points, which is good. He takes 2 points, but the guy who just got kneed illegally, like his grounded opponent got a flush knee to the face, cut bleeding, and he took maybe a minute and a half off and went back to fighting and then gets finished at the end of the first round. Yeah, just I don't know what to take the DQ finish. Yes, it's you want to show you're tough or anything, but I feel like I'm hoping I don't know if they're allowed to. Coaches should have just been saying take the DQ, and I think fighters got to know the rule sets a bit more. I don't know what was going through his mind. He maybe thought he was still good, but any opportunity to get a win, you got to take it. And now he has a loss on his record. Naraji gets the win, and again, illegal strikes are rewarded in MMA. Yeah, he got 2 points taken away, but the damage he did with that, he gets the finish soon after because he's still rocked inside. Like with that shot knee to the face and bleeding that much, and then he got finished. So I was very disappointed with the doctor, with the ref, not giving him enough time. I think the fighters always think of Anthony Smith. He could have beaten John Jones. There's pride involved or whatever, but hey man, get your paycheck, get your win. Don't reward these guys doing illegal strikes. You got to put them accountable. If they do illegal strikes and then you can get the DQ finish, take that and put a message out. Hey, if you're going to do this, you're going to lose straight away. So yeah, it's a little bit, disappointing aspect of the sport as, the guy clearly is compromised, takes an illegal shot, and the guy who did it gets 2 points, yeah, but he goes on to win. Like he shouldn't be able to then go on to win, in my opinion. And I don't know, it should just be a clear DQ in that sense. Because I think the ref needs to step in a bit more and just tell him his options. He wasn't told. He just said, "Oh, you want to continue? You want to continue?" I think he needs to say, "Hey, if you can't continue, it's a DQ win for you. Do you want to continue?" Because he's rocked and he deserves to get that DQ win. He's a grounded opponent, very dangerous to cop a knee like that. And in the road to UFC, this was egregious. Australia's own Kit Campbell gets the win, but in the first round, he did 2 blatant illegal knees. So this was the night before, Friday night, in the road to UFC. 2 illegal knees. I think Herb Dean was a ref. Didn't even take a point from him. Couldn't believe it. The guy copped 2 illegal knees. And then it was a split decision win for Kit, who got the win by split decision. And it's like a point should have been taken away, or 2 points should have been taken away, a point per illegal strike. And I think they'll be going back to the review board and going, hey, as much as I want the Aussie to win as far as the fairness and rules of the sport, He shouldn't have won. The points should have been taken for those illegal strikes. And he wins via split decision. If I'm the other guy who lost, I'd be definitely getting that reviewed and challenged because it's clear illegal strikes, therefore a point should be taken. And it just reiterates it pays to bend the rules and cheat in MMA. You're not really held accountable. And as you saw, he got points taken away, but he knows, hey, that guy is rocked. I'm going to go out there and finish him. Another fight, Rong Zhu versus Austin Hubbard. I thought this was going to be the fight of the night. And yeah, it didn't really turn out to be that. Rong Zhu was trying, but yeah, nothing too crazy in this. I don't get it when it's then the last 10 seconds and everyone tries to be Max Holloway, and it's like, where was that in the first 10 seconds? Yeah, I think Austin Hubbard was a bit too hesitant and on the back foot for Rong Zhu to get that spectacular finish or get a really good back and forths. So a bit, yeah, didn't go how I thought it would. Because, yeah, watching, I was like, oh boy, this isn't good. Now, Kyle Dawkins, welcome back to the UFC. He gets the win, knockout win in the first minute over Michel Pereira. Again, catches him on the exit. You know, you've got to be careful exiting the exchanges, and completely knocks him, hooks him. I think it was a right hook, flatlines Pereira. He goes down, follows up with vicious elbows and gets the finish. He gets a performance bonus, 50K. And yeah, very good to see Kyle get the win because he had to go back to the regional scene. He gets the call up, and yeah, congratulations. Another great finish in the prelims was Yiza. Yeah, crazy straight. What did you go? Straight right, left hook, flatlines. Weston Wilson just dominated him in that featherweight bout. So yeah, the prelims, had some good finishes on there. And we saw a great mounted Ezekiel choke from Uran Satabaldiev. I think I butchered that. You rarely see that. I think the gi, you can finish it a lot better in the gi, but to do that, skin to skin essentially, very good Ezekiel choke there to kick off the card. But yeah, I don't need to spend too much time on this card. I think I did pretty well there. We got a week off now, UFC week off, and then we're at UFC Paris. Imavov versus Kai Bahalio, possibly a #1 title shot contender, gets Hamza. But yeah, Johnny Walker, the performance of the night, Johnny Walker. So we had 4 performances of the night, no fight of the night. So Johnny Walker, Charles Johnson, Kyle Dawkins, and Uran for that Ezekiel choke. Just to go over my bonus guesses, I had Rong Zhu, Hubbard as fight of the night. Yeah, pretty way off on that. I had Zhang performance of the night, way off. And Sergey Pav performance of the night, way off. I really thought Sergey, when he had him on the fence, was just going to flatline him. Didn't end up happening. But yeah, so that was on last night for us in Australia. We were out here on the Gold Coast, brothers in town. Had to show up, and just had to watch off to the side on my phone the ones I wanted to see live, and then the next morning went back and watched the fights, and yeah, it just seemed like didn't really miss out on much if you didn't watch this card. And yeah, and as I was saying in the preview, we don't usually have MMA boxing on Saturday nights here because all of the screens where we were at were just footy, the AFL and NRL. Like there wasn't any space for the UFC. And I don't even think they knew it was on because they're not used to the UFC being on a Saturday night. So I just whipped up the Fight Pass, watched it on that. And yeah, it was good. And then stayed up to 1 a.m. to watch the Wallabies versus South Africa. Wallabies go down in a close loss. It was a good match. So yeah, we found didn't hit the hay till the AM, 3 a.m. whatever. But tough carries. Going to keep this one pretty short. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on the fight. Do you think like as far as Aljo calling for that title shot, yeah, it's, I think it sells a bit better, him being a former champ against Volk. Obviously, Lorraine Murphy getting that spectacular knockout and going viral. Um, yeah, who deserves it more? I think it's easier to sell a former champ coming up versing Volk compared to a guy who's undefeated but has only really just popped off because of that knockout. Um, Honestly, I don't mind who gets it. I'm happy for both guys to get it. I'd say as far as what would sell better would be Aljo. You can chuck them on a co-main or main event in December. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Aljo call out. But yeah, I really thought that was going to be a bit more of an exciting fight. As we know, Ortega had to go to the hospital. It was a catchweight bout at 153. None of the guys were getting compensated for their extra 2-round, 5-round fight. It went 5 rounds. So yeah, bit of a weird, one, that co-main. And Zhang, he's at light heavyweight. He'll be back. He'll get a favorable matchup. I mean, that was one and couldn't deliver. But Johnny Walker, does the title run start now for Johnny Walker? I mean, if he gets, another couple of wins, you know, get back up there for a title shot maybe. Him and Dominic Reyes would be great. Um, or him and Yuri would be fun. Walker versus Yuri. That would be a fun one later down the track. But yeah, that's UFC Shanghai. We've got a week off next weekend. I think I will still maybe drop another episode this week. Maybe do a niche topic in the MMA UFC. Let me know uh, what you would want to see in another episode this week. I might do something fun, maybe some trivia, maybe do some ranking, who's and maybe some fantasy matchmaking. But yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. So UFC Shanghai, Walker gets the upset win, and that'll do it. It's been a tough carry, still dusty, but hey, doesn't matter if there's a million or one person watching this. I appreciate you, and yeah, want to stay consistent, and hopefully, yeah, you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good day.